I started the stream before I meant to start the stream. I messed up. Hi, hello, it's me, Scott. This is a mess over here. I haven't taken a shower, still haven't shaved or gotten a haircut. Look like a castaway, but I'm doing laundry. Draklin, how's it going? And here's the thing I need to do. So I have a problem to figure out for a project, and I want to try to solve it in the time it takes to do laundry. So the wash cycle will be done in 22 minutes, and then I'll have like a 60, 70 minute dry cycle. So what I want is to take a simple piece of geometry, like a geodesic sphere or an icosahedron or dodecahedron, just some piece of geometry, and I want to procedurally in Unity look at it, find adjacent points based on some radius, because I don't know how I'll know just for arbitrary geometry. Okay, yes, Draklin, have a good work. Have a good work, whatever that means. And build a wireframe, simple, low-resolution wireframe kind of mesh to connect to those points, and then have the ability to like control the drawing of those. So that's kind of a lot of things. So I'm going to try to break it into reasonable pieces. The first thing we're going to need is some geometry. So Windows Terminal Preview. I installed Antiprism on this machine, right? That will give us something. Yeah, we can just do, okay, let's look together. We just need to make some quick geo and then we'll get into it. So here's the computer. Welcome to my computer. Software. I think I would know the URL. It's just antiprism.com. Named models. We just want like a simple geodesic. Something not even crazy dense. Maybe like this guy. That's Geo 2, Geo 3. Let's do this one. And we will. Oh, we're gonna have to have Maya. No, oh, Unity can do OBJ, right? So if we do like off util Geo. I already forgot what I said. What did I say? Geo 3. Geo 3. And if we pipe that to anti-V, we can't do that on this machine. So we'll just send this. So this will give us OFF. And then we need to pipe this to OFF to OBJ. And that'll give us an OBJ. And then, man, should I have done that? Oh boy, look how much easier that is. What does P mean? Just a point? Okay, that is actually something we should do. We say dash G here because we only want geometry. Does that still do the thing? I don't know. Anyway, let's send this for now just to desktop. Geo3.obj. Not, wait, excuse me? What? Why can't I output that to that place? Sure. You bet. Universal Window Pipeline. I don't even know what's really different with that. If there's like something truly different than Lightweight Render Pipeline. Okay. So desktop. We got an OBJ. Is it gonna work? Would be convenient if it did. It did. Okay. So let's just start doing some stuff. Let's do it just all as editor. We're gonna need a script like wireframe builder, and then a script, and this is the thing I never remember, wireframe builder editor, and let's just get a new scene. Into game object. And this can have a wireframe builder and cool. So now let's do the thing I never remember. Unity custom editor. Why, Unity? Why don't you just have a button that does this? So much to ask. Can edit multiple objects. Do I need that? Okay. I don't want you. This wants to be... I did this in the wrong script. Cool. Wireframe builder editor. We want you. You can be a wireframe builder. You can be a wireframe builder editor. Oh, yes, I really need can edit. Okay, so, and then all we care about to start with is, what's the thing? The draw default. Why, Unity? Why can't you just have boilerplate for this like you have for... Okay, cool. That kind of seems like a thing that might work. Maybe. And then we need Unity custom inspector button. The thing I also always forget. It's like on, like if GUI button something something something. Like the SEO on certain Unity tasks is not the greatest. When I search for this, I just get a bunch of like Stack Overflow question kind of things. It's something not hard. It's like if this. It's just this. It's just this. Okay, wireframe builder. Okay. Build wireframe. So this is a pretty specialized tool, really. I'm just trying to get through the general implementation and then go from there. Build wireframe. I now have a beautiful button. Outstanding. So the thing we first need to do, let's actually just throw, how much do I care about this? Let's do this. Let's add a mesh render and a mesh filter, just so we have a very wait, why is that called Geo3? Isn't that supposed to be Geo2? I blew it. Wait, I said it. I even said it backwards. Falling to pieces. Geo3. Yeah, this. Where's the actual mesh? Okay, we can do this. We can do this. Default mesh. Yes, you. It's you are the one. You can have a material. Okay, so we are just gonna cheat a little bit because we have the target here. So let's just do stuff inside, like get component mesh filter dot mesh equals, okay. That's like our base mesh. So the first thing we need to do is iterate through the points. So it's going to be like for int I equals 0, I is less than mesh dot vertices. Actually, vertex count. And we could do vertices dot length, but hey, it's right here. Okay, so first thing I want to do is probably just like create a null game object where all of those are, just to track them. Maybe. Yeah, because I kind of want to do this in two stages. So this is going to be like, we want point nulls, and we'll want some way that's like clear point nulls. Yeah. And we will just do something like game object null equals new game object. Null dot name equals null. Why can't I do this? Is that not how you do that? What's wrong here? That's not how you make a new game object? Oh, of course. Null is, yeah, I can't call it null. Null's what you would call it in 3D land. We'll call it node here. Obviously, null is reserved. Don't be ridiculous. And then the node.transform.set parent will be wireframe builder and .transform. And node.transform.position will be I don't know if we'll need this elsewhere, but vertices I. Okay, so if we run this, we should get a bunch of child game objects inside here whose points correspond to broke something. Oh, I should use shared mesh. That's fine. Okay, now we have all these nodes, and do they seem to correspond to... This says shaded wireframe, but I don't see a wireframe. Do you? Why would I not see... Well, anyway. Okay. Yeah, these nodes appear to... Yes, great. Okay, now we just have like physical unity representations of the vertices, which is less performant than probably operating on the mesh, but it's a little more convenient because you have all the conveniences of a transform, so you can mess with transforms and all that jazz. And I can put scripts on those nodes, so I think it is the right answer. I might be wrong, but I think it's right. So now we want to do the thing that I just always forget how to do. That's going to be something like... Actually, we need to do this backwards, right? Equals... Because we're going to modify this collection while we... And then we need to go like this child count minus 1 while I is greater than or equal to 0. I minus minus. And then we want to say, you're not node transform, wireframe builder transform. Wireframe builder dot transform dot get child count, get child. I dot destroy dot game object dot destroy. Or I just call destroy on this. I can destroy transform though, right? I don't have a game object. That kind of looks right. Who can say? Oh, you screwed up. Destroy immediate. Okay. One of those things I also wish there was like just a convenience method for, because I feel like that's such a common thing. Wait, what did you say? Oh, you can't do the transform. I was wrong. You need the game object. Okay. I'm hitting max shortcuts over here. Okay, so that just deletes everything and puts it right back. If I like delete some of these, we should see the rest. Should see it like reappear. Yeah, okay. Okay, we got a thing going on. We got 8 minutes, so I have to put the laundry in the dryer. We're doing okay. So now the thing we need to do, and this is where it gets a little weird, is some radius. We want to figure out some radius to... Maybe I'll start this with line renderers first. I think that's what I'll do. Just start it with line renderers. So we want to loop through these, and then each node is going to be responsible for its edges. The problem is always going to be... you'll have like a decreasing possibility space. Because if you have one that's connected to 5, and then the next one you do, you already connected to this one. So if you iterate through and you branch out to these 5, when I go here, I only want to branch to ones that haven't been there. So that's good. That's an easy loop, but it's a little weird in terms of thinking who is responsible. Okay, so this will be like build edges. I'm going to just put the edges inside the individual nodes for now. I think I probably actually don't want to do that long term, but let's just get them started. So this is going to be where int I equals, I mean, this really is like, we're just going to loop through these children. No, I didn't need to do that. I could store a collection of these as I make them. Let's just do this. This will be a list of nope. No, what am I doing? Generic. Yeah, this will be like list. Right now they'll just be transforms. We'll probably eventually make those actual things. New list transform. Transform. Is that right? Is the type capital T transform? Yes. So now we just iterate through this. Yeah, it's gonna be a little weird because we're gonna have to iterate through each and then iterate through +1 of that, but that'll be okay. We got it. We got this. So this is nodes dot I equals 0. I is less than nodes dot length. No, it should be count. Okay. I plus plus. So for each node, we're going to look at all other nodes and try to find some that are within a radius. And I don't know what that radius is. I don't know. I like the way I spelled radius, though. Radius. Okay, so there's 0 reason to do this. Let's do this. That's a little annoying. I did not talk to you. Okay, this is where this gets a little annoying, is like exposing things that are not on the builder. Eesh. Yeah, whatever, let's do it. This will be serialized field. Search radius. Did it again. I did it again. Equals 0.1f, whatever. Just so we can switch it up in the editor. You're afloat. Okay. That'll just be on wirebuilder.searchRadius. So now we need to iterate through int j is going to be equal to I plus 1. So we want to just start 1 ahead of wherever we are. And still want to only go up to node count. We never have to go backwards because we will have already connected to those, I think. J++. So then we need to say if square magnitude is technically faster, it just means our radius is a little weirder. But I'm not too worried about it, actually. Vector3.distance. This isn't going to run at runtime. This is like an offline tool. So this will be, you know, like float, transform for now. Node A equals nodes I, and transform node B. We probably should just go ahead and make a real node mono behavior, but maybe not. J. And we're just going to say if the distance of between node A and node B then I use this method. Oh, dot position. If the distance is less than wirebuilder.searchRadius. Oh, that's funny. I actually do need this to be public then. For some reason I was thinking that editor scripts can magically do that, but apparently not. Okay, if it's less than like So we want like the node. And then like match. And then I and J. Okay, something like this. I just don't even know what this is going to be. Maybe 0.1 is way too much. We're going to see too many nodes. We should only see, I think, 5, right? Like, oh, there's some hexagons and some pentagons. So it should be either 5 or 6 for any one. Is nothing within 0.1? Within 1? I'm doing something wrong. What wrong thing am I doing? Node B is node J. That should start at I+1. Node A should stay the same. Nothing? Am I logging anything? Have I broken everything? Oh, I know what the problem is. It's a very silly problem. I never add these to the collection. Nodes.add node. Okay, that's probably the issue. There's nothing in the collection, so I was iterating over nothing. What's your problem? Oh. Oh, should these be just transforms for now then? Doesn't hurt. Transform, I think that's fine. We will almost certainly make that a real thing. Okay. So node 1 matched way too many. It matched a lot. So that's fine. Then there was an error. So search radius is also huge right now. So I build my wireframe. Interesting. Well, I+1, well then that should never fire. Why would that be true? Faulty logic. It seems like something wrong that I'm doing. So like if I'm looking at one, oh good heavens. Okay, I've got to go. This geometry, no, I'm not using the OFF loader for this. I may use it in production, but this, I just brought in an OBJ. Okay, excuse me for a moment. I have to go put laundry in the dryer. Draklin, entertain everyone. I should really put up heat when I leave. Hello, I'm back. How'd it go? How's everything going? Things are going great. Oh no, what's your hardware problem? So I could have used that importer tool, and in fact, I later extended that importer tool so that it knows about adjacent faces, which would potentially be helpful here. But I think this radius thing will work if I just write the code properly. Why would this ever be true? Why would that even be allowed? Oh, because this is supposed to be J right here. Good grief. That's the problem. Okay, this still seems broken, but maybe less broken. Okay, so we didn't actually, I don't think we actually found any matches. That was this logging. Silly typo. Okay, we're finding nothing at point 1. At point 2? Nothing? Okay, did I break it again? Okay, 1 definitely works, but that's obviously too much. Point 5? I may be wrong about this assumption I'm making. Okay, so here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 from node 0, which is believable to me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for node 1. It's a little weird that there would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would have thought that node 0 would have actually been... Let's go look. Node 0 touches 6. Yeah, so this seems like an okay radius. So now what we're going to do, just real brute force-like to start with, is we're going to create edges. We're going to create edge objects now, and we're just going to put them inside the node. So, yeah, we're basically going to do this thing, sort of. So, am I going to have like some edge counter per node, or do I actually carry it? I may just not carry it. Let's just not even name the edge for the moment. I'm just interested in getting this in with our like 63 minutes and 8 seconds remaining. These, we're just going to stick these inside node A for now. And we're going to set the position. We want to actually zero it out in node A. So what we want to do is edge.add component, line renderer, and then we won't want to use the line renderer in production, probably, but maybe, but probably not. And this will be line renderer I don't know how smart Unity is about batching multiple line renderers. I don't know, but we'll see. This is probably the place to start. So line renderer dot position count. How do you set positions? Wants an array. So this is going to be like a vector, new vector 3 array with 2 values of node A dot. This is where it gets a little tricky though. Do I want these world space? Let's just do it world space for now because we're not animating or anything. Let's just say node A dot transform dot position and node B dot transform dot position. Something like this. There's like every possibility that I've done this horribly wrong, but let's see what happens. Okay, we got a million line renderers. That's cool. They don't have materials. Let's just edit them all. Line renderer. It's a lot. editing is only available when editing a single line renderer. But, oh, like editing in scene. Okay. So first thing is this is way too thick. So that'll help. And it wants a material. So let's just set that as we go here. So we want like line render.width. Line renderer.width. Set width. 0.1, 0.1 F. 0.1 F. F. What are you angry about? Start width and end width or width curve. Okay. Okay, and then it doesn't have a material, which is also annoying, but let's just ignore that for the moment. If I build this again. It does look like I have doubles. Like it looks like something's not going well. Yeah. Well, swimmy there, line renderer. So like, okay, it does seem like just a single. Some of these look doubled up though. But maybe not. And why are there weird corners on some of these line renderers? Or is this just where a bunch of them are intersecting or something? That must be it. Which doesn't, that's not actually a major problem. This seems like there's only one line renderer though. Oh, it's just getting clipped. Okay, so that's actually all fine. Because that's only because we're drawing the mesh, but we don't have to. Let's just turn off the mesh renderer, and then we get our insane thing. 0.1 is still too much. Okay, that's a bit more reasonable. Overall, looks not too bad. I don't want any light probes on any of this stuff. So, like, that's a thing to consider here is, like, how are we... So it is batching these, which is pretty cool. If we just added a... So maybe actually this is viable, except for the problem that all the popping, which I don't really understand, and I can't rotate this because I did everything world space, right? That's my problem here. Okay, let's not do world space. Use world space false, which this is probably going to break everything, but that's okay. Why did that not break everything? Okay, just miraculously worked because it's still relative to the... Okay. That doesn't actually make sense to me why that worked, but okay. Okay, so rotation-wise, that's not too bad, actually. I mean, like, as it rotates around, seems like... Maybe it was the world space that was the problem before. But if I orbit around it, it's really not too bad. Okay, let's add a... and use this instead. So yeah, maybe I will just use line renderer. What is this thing called? I just do this? No, I don't want to. Okay, let's like a material. Cool. Okay, let's make a material. And it can just be unlit something. It could be particles. I wonder if that would be faster. I mean, mobile unlit is probably the fastest. Oh, that supports light map. Just straight up unlit color. Maybe the fastest thing here. So let's expose a thing. And you can be... I could be adding those variables to this, but then I'd have to do custom field where it's easier this way. It feels a little sloppy to like have functionality split across the two classes like that. I could move all this builder stuff into the wireframe builder, but sometimes I want to do editor stuff. So, I mean, you know, editor only things in these loops potentially. Line material. No! Okay. Yes. Okay. Now we got a line material. That appears to be batching beautifully. How does this work if it's defaulted to universal render pipeline setting and I don't have a pipeline asset? Are these pipeline assets? What renderer am I using though? That's a project setting now, right? Is it project quality? I'm using the high quality universal render pipeline asset. Let's use the low quality one. I don't think that'll make a difference actually. Why did I want to do that again? I forgot what I was... Why was I doing this? Does anyone remember? Now it says batches 3. Maybe there was post-processing on in the high-quality one. There's definitely lower anti-aliasing here, so that looks bad. But 3 batches, that sounds pretty cool. Oh yeah, SRP batching. I always wanted to see if that was on. SRP batcher is on. But these batches, this isn't even SRP batching. This is just regular old batching, seemingly. Right? Sorry, in one moment. Okay. Oh my gosh, I've not even been... I was on the wrong... Okay, sorry. Draclin, you let me do the thing where I'm not on the... Oh, I need Life is Yours. Where is he? Okay, sorry about that. For like the last 10 minutes, I've been not on the right video feed. This is what happens when no one's watching. If anyone is watching this on YouTube, because I'm going to upload it there. I'm not going to edit it or anything, so it's going to be goofy. So I don't know why you'd watch this on YouTube. Because come to Twitch instead. Okay, so actually this is kind of making me feel like lightweight render pipeline, using line renderer with batching is actually going to be okay for my purposes. So the next thing to figure out, and this gets a little annoying, definitely gets a little annoying, is how to control the growth of these. Because I want to be able to like interpolate these between their two destinations, essentially. By the time I get to the end of this, there shouldn't really, yeah, the last one doesn't have any, that one has only one, so that all checks out. I can't believe I did the thing. I did the thing. Oh well. I'm in a mode where it's just, I'm just trying to stream, man. I'm just trying to do some streaming. Just trying to get into the rhythm of it again. Before I have to travel again and ruin my schedule, but hey. Okay, so now we want, now we do want a wireframe edge class. That is the thing we now are in need of. That's going to manage that interpolation. Wait, make a C# script. Man, I hadn't like totally boned that in a while. The completely wrong input. I blame the laundry. I'm gonna say it's the laundry's fault. How are we doing anyway? Okay, we got 50 minutes. That seems maybe like we can get the drawing of this. There's still a lot to do, but we can, I think, at least get that basic thing going. Okay, so wireframe edge. First thing we want to do is just make sure, just add a wireframe edge to all our edges. What are we even calling these? Nothing. We can just int edge count. Well, it'd be J. No, it wouldn't be J. It'd be edge count. Like per node A, there's an edge count. And then inside here, if we're good, we edge count plus plus. And then the name of this can be edge.name equals edge count. Okay, that should be fine, unless I screwed it up. And then we want to, these are all line render settings. So now we want to say a wireframe edge equals new wireframe edge. And then we want to, no, that's not what we want to do. We want to just add component this because it automatically does instantiation, right? If we just do edge dot add component wireframe edge, is that true? That was weird. Why'd that happen? Okay, that's all we want to do. I'm gonna do it up here when we make it. Okie dokie. So now if we run this, we should have a wireframe edge component on all of these. We want to be able to track all those. We want like a sense of all nodes and all edges. And we really don't want them to be inside of each other. In fact, let's do this. Let's call each edge, we'll just name the edge like, we won't even have an edge count. We'll just name the edge from like node to node. So it's like I to J. So this will be like, this edge is for this to this, so on and so forth. I'm pretty confused about why this works. So now, for now, let's add our nodes also to this, and it'll be kind of a mess. We'll just have both inside, but I'm going to say that's okay for the moment. And let's also make a edges list. But let's actually make these edges. We're almost certainly going to need a wireframe node as well. In fact, let's just do it after I do this. And then we need an edges add whenever we create one. The edge, great, okay. Naming is confusing, but let's just go with it for the moment. Okay, let's see if this still works with those. So that should be good, and now we should just have 1,000,000 edges at the end of this. Yes. Okay. So what we want to be able to say... Draclin, you missed it. I screwed up. I streamed for like 10 minutes of just the... of my face again, my classic maneuver. It's not... I did that for like an entire hour once. And I think I still uploaded it to YouTube. Wait, why do I need those? What's your problem? No, it doesn't. You're a liar. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to store both of these things. These edges. Edges we're going to store here. And we're going to say wireframe builder edges clear. Like when we delete all the children. Like wireframe builder.edges.clear. And then we'll also have, let's just make our wireframe node class. And we don't really care about it at this point, except do this. Okay. We want to clear both nodes and edges. Then we want to actually delete the game objects, which I could iterate through these and delete the game objects, but whatever. Let's do it all in one fell swoop. So now we don't need this collection. Now we do need a wireframe builder.nodes.add, and that's going to be the wrong type, but I'm ignoring that for the moment. We want to loop through. Yep, I'm going to get you. I don't know why that's mad. Did I? Oh, I know what I did. I did the thing that I love to do, which is save something and then move it. This needs to go away. We'll put it in the right place in a minute. Okay, and then wireframe builder.edges.add. And then the thing that's missing here is just when we create... We just need to do this same thing. After we set the transform and all that fun stuff, let's also make a wireframe node. Oops. And that is what we will actually add here. These will not be transforms, these will be wireframe nodes. And we can still do this, but we just need a transform.position. Okay, let's make sure that still does the thing it's supposed to do. Are you broken? You're actually broken. What did I do? Node.add component. What's wrong? Oh yeah, you're sure. You're this wireframe builder. Move this one. Make sure we're editing this one and not the other one. Okay, now are we happy? We built the thing, we got the thing, great. Okay, so now we have all this data. We know about all the nodes and edges. So what I want to do is when edges start up, I want to, let's just do this to start. We won't even have control over it. Let's do a really simple animation. Wireframe edge. Yeah, most people want about it. We'll have like a vector 3 start, node A start, my original, vector 3 node B original. We'll just grab those straight from the line renderer to start with. We need to know about our line renderer. And then on start, we'll just say line renderer equals get component line renderer node A original equals line renderer. We could also just set this. We already know this. Let's just set this out here when we build it. What am I actually setting those? Yeah, just to those two positions. Then those have to be public. Public. And you can be private, sure. Pervert. No, we can also set this. Whatever, let's just set this too. We'll set everything. It'll already be known. Because why not? Wireframe edge. Let's do this after. Do this after just because then we'll already have the line renderer and we can just do all that stuff at once. So we'll add a line renderer, then we'll add our dude, and we'll say wireframe edge dot line renderer is just equal to our line renderer, and wireframe edge dot node A original is this friend. Wireframe. Isn't there like a there was like a duplicate down shortcut? There probably is. Node B original is node B transform position. Okay, so now let's just do something where we take like something silly. Just in the update loop, we will take like the sign of, oh gosh, we don't want to do this here though. We don't want to be running a million. Control C, Control V with nothing selected. Oh, just while on the line. That's what I wanted. Cool, thank you. Cool. Very handy. So I don't want to go down the path of having update loops running on all of these. I would much prefer to have the controlling class know about this. So this will just be like a data class, just to kind of know what's up. This class is useless, but we could potentially add some data here. We probably will. And then in this guy is where we will want our update loop. And what we want to do is iterate through all our edges. And for now, let's just do something silly and say it's like something like is there not a time like sign of time? Oh well. We'll do like mathf.sign time.time mathf.pow. Is this what I want? I think it is. Square that, and then we'll just get a number that goes up and down between 0 and 1. And then we want to say that Why are you mad? Oh, you're spell checking. Is we want like what do we call these? Node A start. Yeah, so we want like node B current because we'll never animate node A. Why did I name these like this? Yeah, original, whatever. Okay, node B current will be equal to edge.node B original minus edge.node A original times alpha plus edge.node A original something like this, and then it's going to be line renderer dot edge dot line renderer dot set position 1 to node B current. How are we doing on time? 30 whole minutes, incredible. 35 minutes. Okay. This might work. I'd like to have this working in the editor. I guess I could, right? I could do execute in edit mode on update. Is this going to do something horrible? Does that just mean it's not working, or that execute in edit mode is not working? Okay, look at that. Why isn't it executing that in edit mode though? I thought you could do this. Is this a thing where it's like, Is that not a thing I can do? I thought you could do that on an update loop. Oh, the whole class? Update is only called when something in the scene changes. I see. Editor application queue, player loop update, execute always. Okay, so this isn't really going to do anything for me, but that's fine. Execute always. Will this... Oh, but it said to put it on the... It doesn't go on the... So this is an attribute for the class, not the method? I kind of thought it was... Yeah, but this is only happens when you update the editor. So if I do this, it'll happen. Okay. Whatever. We don't really need it at the moment. Okay, so that's pretty handy, right? Let's do a couple things just to be able to see it a little better. Let's make this like bright something. And let's make this like not bright something. Oh, we don't have any lights. And what do you want? Look at this new fancy camera, 2019-3. Where do you set the color? Great. Okay, these blobs are a nightmare. I realize this, but that's going to be okay because I want to just hide those inside nodes. But if I do this, it's pretty handy. So, I mean, obviously I don't want to do it like this, where it's weird and the nodes are only, you know, happening so uniformly. Where ideally it'd be kind of some noise that traveled over the whole thing. Sounds a little tricky. but not too crazy, because I could know, like, I could move it across the thing or something like that. Okay, let's just at a minimum add, like, to this, like, just add whatever, node A original dot X or something. Yeah, that feels a little more like, not really what I want, but we'd want them to have like different speeds. We'd want them to have, all that stuff would need to be tracked in the edge class. So let's put a sphere in the middle of this. This is getting, I mean, you know, right now we could also add, sure, let's just add X and Y, just so it's not, it just looks bad when they all, well, that's still gonna be a problem. I actually want it to be like, yeah, from something like this, like, so everything will be a little more chaotic. And Unity, where is anything now? Project settings, quality. Let's go to medium. I have a little bit of anti-aliasing. Did my lines get chubbier? They did, because I did that at runtime. I want my middle sphere back. I'm not sure why those came in so big. Just set it to a specific angle or add to the angle. You'd think I would know how to rotate things in a loop in Unity by now. You'd think. So always forget exactly how to rotate. Yeah. You're tight. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, times this. That's very fast. I'm going to say that's maybe too fast. I don't like it when these songs have words. I'm sure I've said that about that very song. So I was just trying to imagine what I would kind of like to have is timeline control of this, but it'd be tricky. But so that I could make it a playable. Maybe that's a stream for another day. Is like to make this a playable thing so that I could just scrub it on the timeline and have it build out and sort of craft how I wanted that. And maybe even have like curves for different parameters. I guess I kind of could still do that. Bartbean, how's it going? You're here just in time for me to stare at this sphere. I'm doing a lot of sphere staring today. Got 24 minutes until it's time to get the laundry. What do we want to do in 24 minutes? I'm doing okay. I'm trying to figure some stuff out with some like fake procedural wireframe techniques. It actually turned out to be... I was afraid that I would not be able to use... See this saved by batching 266? That's because there's a lot of line renderers. Like we're drawing all these lines in a really inefficient way. And I was worried that that was not going to be okay. And that I was going to have to come up with a better way to do that. But it seems to be all right. Definitely still some cost. See my frame rate drop substantially, but still way the heck up there. I'm not actually sure what the frame rate kill is, if it's the animation. Let's just comment that out for a second, just a hot second. If like animating all those simultaneously is the problem, or if the just line render drawing is the problem. I made it. Okay, do you understand this when I do this? Yeah, I can walk you through kind of the general idea. 900 frames per second. So man, really tanks when we got to iterate through and draw. I mean, it's still extremely fast. That's interesting though. So I would have thought that would have been slowing down the CPU. So we're doing like a millisecond on the CPU and a 1.1-ish on the GPU. And then when I turn on my friend and start animating those, maybe that breaks something. Maybe there's some other way to do that without. I would expect a CPU hit here. Are you learning C# to make games, Bart Bean? Why does it take longer to draw? I'm drawing the same number of triangles. Maybe I'm not, actually. Maybe the line renderers are really silly. Okay, that would be a thing to consider about this technique, is that it's potentially like adding a bunch of new triangles. That aren't needed, and maybe there's a way to mitigate that. Where is our friend? You? Which one are you? Not node, edge. Okay, this edge, I don't know if Unity shows wireframes for shaded wireframe, please. Wait, where's shaded wireframe? Isn't shaded wireframe an option? Didn't I have it earlier? Okay, but looking at that, that looks like it's only 2 triangles. It looks like all the... Yeah, like our triangle count doesn't change, does it? You want to make art? That's awesome. That's outstanding. Pleased to hear that. Unity is a great tool for making weird experimental art projects. I've certainly done a lot of those on this stream. It's something I'm very invested in. What kind of art do you want to make? Okay, our triangle count isn't changing. We're 540 tries, which is not bad at all. There's only 2 triangles per line. It's constantly orienting them. Maybe, yeah, I'm confused about this. Why this has the overhead that it does. It add a little bit to CPU, which I would expect because we're iterating through all that stuff and animating, making changes. Maybe there's something else going on with the line render that Unity like accelerates in some way. So look at all our line renderers. Is there some obvious thing we should... Oh, another option, we could also see if like maybe we shouldn't be doing this. Maybe it actually would be better to do like mobile particles. That doesn't have a color though. The shader's a little faster it seems though, or maybe that's just my imagination. We could try a lightweight render pipeline specific, I mean universal render pipeline. Unlit. Often particle shaders are faster, but maybe not necessarily in this case. Okay. That's awesome. What tools are you using to make your art, to make your assets? So this is for a project that I can't really talk about because it's NDA'd, but it's something I do on stream sometimes. Is if whatever work I'm doing out in the world, client jobs or whatever, if there's some like technique or tool I need to validate that it's like a thing I need to learn and figure out. Sometimes I do that on my own time and do it on stream. So this is just validating a technique for a current project I'm working on. Still pretty uniform in some places, which I'm not crazy about, but I'll just work on ways to make that drawing more good. So I do want to try, we should be set up to, let's just kick out another denser antiprism. Yeah, what a strange thing I've done here. Let's do a Geo4, go to Geo4, and then move Geo4. I don't know why it wouldn't let me just write to that. Let's just try it with a denser thing. I'll have to change the radius. The radius is like the hackiest part of this, really. I'm gonna try that, and then Bart, if you like, I can just walk you through a little bit of how the C# works. So I should be able to, if I so choose, to now just grab this guy, this builder, give it this, and build. Yeah, cool. And we get a denser geodesic. Maybe denser than I want. Still not great anti-aliasing here. Still do free aspect. That's the 1-to-1. This was with medium quality? Yeah, that's the medium. Let's try high. Let's look at that also and see what the anti-aliasing is even set to. There's ways to mitigate this, but it would require transparency, and this is eventually going to end up in mobile on a platform that hates transparency, like hates it with passion. Even if it's additive, which is a bummer. I gotta bump this up to 8x, which looks nice, but that's costly. No, you're totally not distracting you. It is awesome to have people watching. I've had this problem where I stream on Twitch for a while, build it up where people watch for a while, and then I have to like travel for a while and totally have to start over again. So this is like my 4th time getting back into regular streaming. Okay, our radiuses are bad here. So we have some like, which actually looks kind of cool. maybe I'm not totally opposed to it. Like these are connecting across, the pentagons are connecting across, but we could just probably lower our search radius very slightly. Yeah, and fix that. So the way I am doing this is I'm starting with a real piece of geometry. I'm using a tool to generate it called Antiprism, but I'm basically starting with a piece of geometry that looks like this one is this. Ignoring the colors, just the geometry. And I'm using this command line tool to make it. You could make it in Cinema 4D or Blender or Maya or whatever. At the beginning, all it is this model. We could even turn normals off and see the edges probably. No normals? Calculate normals with no smoothing? Oh, right, because now it's, yeah, okay, we'd have to do that beforehand. Anyway, this is that sphere, and it has that geometry. The normals are just smoothed in such a way. Oh, yeah, sorry. Whoop. It's just a sphere, essentially. The underlying geometry is that geodesic we looked at. You can't see that here because all the normals are making it look smooth, but that's all stuff you could fix in Maya or Blender or whatever. So I'm taking that geometry. I kind of want to just revert all this. I don't even have any blend shapes. Take all that geometry and go through it in an editor script. So I don't know if you've done this in Unity, but you can, in addition to writing the scripts, that sit in the inspector that make up the components of your game objects, you can write custom editors to add things to them, like this button here that I've added to do this additional processing. And all it does is it goes to that mesh. Like the mesh is really just a cloud of points at the end of the day. If we look at that again, all these little points, any mesh just starts with a bunch of vertices, and then you draw the triangles and set up the normals and whatever other things you need. But underneath it all, it's just a bunch of points. So the first thing I do is I convert all those points into game objects, just so they exist in Unity land, because I do want to mess with those. You could come up with custom shaders to do that stuff in the shader, but it's a little easier to prototype just to make these points. So what that means is the underlying geometry of that sphere. So let me get rid of this guy. And let me turn this guy back on. The underlying geometry of, let's delete all these. This geodesic that you can see over here, that wireframe, where all those points are, I now have a game object at one of those points after I run the script. So I click this and it will build that. And now I have a game object that corresponds to each of those points. And then I'm using a Unity line renderer to make edges between those points. Weirdly, somehow it seems like do I have a little bit of rotation or something? I do. Okay, it's not matching up. It's a little hard to see here, but basically now my points match the points of the underlying geometry, and I can control them more easily in a script. So it was just a way to build the scaffolding of what I wanted, which is this procedural wireframe. And then I don't have to render the old one anymore. I now have my custom dude. Actually, I know, here's what we should spend our last, I gotta get laundry in 10 minutes. Stream for 10 more minutes. Let's add we added some noise to the edges. Let's add some noise instead to the nodes and give the nodes some in and out, because then we can, without even drawing, yeah, it's gonna be a little bit annoying, but I think we can do it. Okay, so first thing we want to do is let's see, even just ignore our edges for a second. How do I want to do this? I kind of want to be able to see the nodes. I guess we can see them in the... What is this? I keep hitting the wrong shortcut. I've been working on a Mac all week. What is... Okay, there it is. Control. Okay, we got to iterate through... Let's start with this. So we're going to, for each node, wireframe node in nodes. Let's let's say that each node knows its origin. Basically just where it's going to start in space. And we'll even just set that at build time when we make a node. So when, excuse me, when we make one of these, we're just going to say wireframe node dot or node origin is equal to whatever the vertex position that came from the mesh is. So we know that. And then we want to take that and just add to it. Excuse me. Getting choked up. Should drink some water. So these will always be, since these are always relative to 0, they're always going to essentially be a normal. And so we can do something that's like node origin dot normalized. A normal is just like a direction. So relative, if the center of the sphere is here and one of those points is up here, the normal is just an arrow that points towards that. And so what I want to do is add, we're going to then say that like the node.transform.position is going to be whatever its original position is. Let's have the same alpha for now. Node is just it's almost nothing. It's an empty container that right now only contains its original position. So it's just a simple container data class. It doesn't have any logic. It's like it could be a struct. The only reason I do this is to extend mono behavior so it can sit on a game object. Just so now I can like go in the editor and look and I can see the settings of node, except I screwed something up. Oh, that's something else. Yeah, okay. Node origin plus node normal times alpha, we'll say. And that's just going to be a little weird animation that should make those nodes undulate. Something else was wrong. This is node. Yeah, whatever. Sure. Let's do the node origin X and Y. So we won't actually see anything in the game view, but I'm hoping we'll be able to easily see in the Why are you not showing what I have selected? Did I break all my nodes? Okay, it looks like I broke all my nodes. Oh, because I didn't rebuild after saying I was going to store the origin, so that makes sense. It would be 0. So now all these nodes know their origin. And so now, will this work? Yeah, so now you can see this node. It's flying way out because it's got too much of a multiplier on it. But now the nodes are, all the nodes are animating. So all the nodes are kind of like from the center animating in and out. And so now if I, now we want to go through these, and instead of messing with, let's not even mess with this alpha, the drawing code. Let's just say, it's going to be a little tricky of how to do this. So we need to know the two indices of the nodes we're watching. So this is like public int node A, public int node B, because we just have like an index that points to those so you can know which nodes we're talking about. So let's set those in our builder when we make an edge. Yeah. So this will be wireframe edge dot node A equals I, because we're just iterating through, and then node B equals J. So it's just, so each edge knows the two nodes that it's meant to connect. That's all we're doing here. So we will have to rebuild to get that. And then we will say that in this case, vector 3, we'll just be really verbose about it. Node B current will equal nodes edge.node A, or node B. Is that not an integer? I meant to make it an inch. Oh, wireframe node. Wait, node B, what? Oh, dot transform dot position. What are you mad about? Okay, everything's fine. Everything's fine. So we're gonna just animate. So we've already animating the nodes. Now we just need to go through every frame and update our line renderer to point to our current node positions. Which this also may be a little bit heavy, but we'll see how it goes. It shouldn't be too heavy because we're already messing with 1 point every frame. So if we're messing with 1 point every frame, seems like we should be able to mess with multiple points every frame. This should be position 0. Okay. I needed to build again. Forgot that. Build this again. Now all of our edges should have a node. This should be 41 to 105. 41 to 105. Yeah, cool. So now every edge just knows about, whoa, yeah, cool. Okay, that was a little more than I meant to do, but it's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. Great. I love it. We just need to multiply this times like 0.1f or something. We just need to scale down the... Wow, that actually worked on recompile. It's a little too low frequency. I would like it more maybe if it was like a bigger offset for each node. I don't know if this code's actually gonna do what I want. Now it's a little too uniform. I'd want some noise in it. Yeah, I would just want more noise rather than being so fluid. How would I do that? Maybe we want a smaller offset? Yeah, okay. Oh, is one of these a 0 or something? Well, that'd still be 1 divided by 0. Can't do that. There must be like a 0 in somewhere that's messing things up. Can't divide by 0. Let's like really cheat this. I mean, none of this code's going into production. This is just like experimenting to validate the Let's add a little bit. That's a silly cheat, but just so we're not dividing by 0. Okay. It's pretty good. It's also pretty slow. Yeah. I love spherical geometry. It's pretty cool. I mean, because there's just looking through Antiprism, the software is amazing, but all the kinds of spheres you can construct, the kinds of polyhedrons you can construct are pretty cool. I love the geodesic tools, one of my favorites. So pretty. Okay, so that kind of does the thing I want to do. I want it faster actually though. Let's do like... Yeah, there is typically the normal workflow would be that you're making your assets, your core assets are made somewhere else. Maya, Cinema 4D, Blender, probably Maya in the pro world. Cinema 4D is cool, and I really like a lot of things it does. It's just not great. It doesn't have the best game pipeline. Maya has a great game pipeline. Maybe 3ds Max. More and more people use Blender. I find it unusable, but mainly just because I don't know how. But yeah, you make those assets and then bring them in. So that's pretty cool. And I'm actually impressed that, okay, that's my timer. Time's up. The thing is, I was really worried about this because this is close to the effect I wanted. I just thought I was going to have to do it in, I thought I was going to have to do it all in a shader, which was going to be annoying, where I'd have to like build geometry, build all this as geo procedurally, and then do all the animation on the GPU, which is totally doable. It would just be obnoxious. And I may still have to do it because this has to run on mobile, so that's TBD. But I'm pretty pleased with this. I don't know why my frame rate drops so much here. I mean, the CPU's slower because now I'm iterating through all the nodes and adjusting. Still doesn't seem like it should be that slow, though. Like, updating transforms doesn't feel like it should be that slow. We'll just have to see how it runs on mobile. I'm guessing it will be okay. The draw calls are really low. Triangles are still under 1,000. That's pretty impressive, actually, that this is all under 1,000 triangles. It's pretty good. That is something to consider, though, if it's way bigger. Actually, even with a huge buffer. Yeah, so the draw cost doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. Just curious if I like cut out, like, okay, what if I just turn off the line renderer or something and just to see what it's like, how much of it is just drawing the lines versus how much of it is the computation. I didn't change the frame rate dramatically. So it seems a little, it's pretty CPU bound. Which that's where you could really, you could offset that to the GPU, all these operations, and do it all on a shader, and it would be way more performant. It would just take 5 times longer to write. Is this drugs? It's not quite drugs. It's pretty close. Maybe if I had like a bunch of them, a bunch of concentric ones. Can I do that? I don't know if my transforms will hold up. Since it was all in world space. Oh, I can. I definitely can. Okay. This is more, this is, now we're talking drugs. Get that middle sphere out of here. I would like to, but these slightly annoying. Not too annoying, but a little bit annoying. Because probably these materials aren't instanced, so we like changed these materials a little bit. Yeah, but it's not an instance, so we would have to do this, and then pick all our friends from just one. I mean, there's definitely a proper way to do this, and this is not the proper way to do this, but let's do it this way anyway. Seems like my frame rate got a little chunky. Not default, line 1. Okay, do one more. I go get my laundry. This is serious business. And then like, you know, these. This is a very silly way to do this because it's just gonna get lost when I stop the editor. Do you hear my voice just now? I was like speaking in vocal fry. I never do that. I was speaking like this a little bit. It's not normal for me. I don't really like the vocal fry. I don't like the way it sounds very much. but I was doing it anyway. Maybe that, I don't like the red background. Gray's kind of cool. What's our frame rate? Look at that, not bad. And again, though, this has to run on mobile, which is a real pain in the butt, especially on the particular mobile platform I'm dealing with. What is bigger? I'm gonna fill the screen more. It's pretty good. They're too lined up right now, but it's all right. Yeah, it's a thing I like to do. I like to, yeah, like you just, I mean, yes and no. So there's two things that I'm taking in a wireframe and I'm basically making a copy of it built out of game objects and line renderers. So it's, I'm not using that fundamental thing, but I do that. There's some older streams that you could look at on YouTube where I do take geometry and then write weird shaders to do things to it. I don't remember how I did that actually on that one stream, but we did that on like a, yeah, one of the last couple of streams to do it, because you do it all in shader. Bitrate can't handle it. Oh no. Yeah, so, oh yeah, the bitrate is, oof. You're definitely right. It's not handling this well. Yeah, because you can do, so I'm doing all this stuff CPU side, all the animation CPU side. There's totally ways to do all this stuff where you have all that geometry and you have enough data either marked up inside the vertices, which there's various ways to do that. It's kind of goofy, but you can like kind of build a mesh and store secret data in it. Like in unused UV channels, or with compute shaders, there's ways to just do calculations and send it to the GPU and mess with a mesh live. There's also a way to like encode data into a texture and send it to the GPU. So that's where it's really cool to like take in planes or other kinds of geometry and do these weird deformations. And then they're insanely performant, and you can do weird stuff because it's all in the GPU. This is all CPU side, but it was way faster because we did it all in like under 2 hours, which is pretty handy. Okay, I think I'm gonna call it. I gotta go like do things like shave and take a shower and look like a normal human being. Thanks for hanging out. Draclin, lovely to see you as always. Bartbean, I appreciate you coming by. Water, yeah, there's cool water. Water, water I would definitely want to be on the GPU because you want big O swaths of it. But like noise on vertices is a good way to get some cool polygonal water for sure. Awesome, yeah, Bartbean, thanks for hanging out. I hope to see you again sometime. You could push that, push that one button. Stream a water shader. Wait, how'd you highlight that? Does my name just get highlighted? Yeah, you will like a cartoony water shader, or what kind of water shader? Oh, you have been following. Oh, Bart, have you been here before and I just forgot your name? I apologize if that's true. It's been a while since I've streamed. Have we spoken before? I'm rude. I'm a rude person. I can't remember everybody's name. Subdivided plane animated like that? I feel like maybe I've done that in a project before. Do I have an example of that somewhere? Maybe I didn't actually post any animations of it. So I did this ocean. I don't know if I posted anything for this project. It may be unpublished. Oh, Fortuna. It would have been around this time. Maybe I didn't post it. We could do some kind of weird water shader sometime, like a low poly. Oh yeah, when I was working on heat. That I recall now. Okay. Nice to see you again. Thank you for coming by. I do need to get back to heat stuff at some point. Okay, I am gonna move on with my life, but I'll try to stream soon. And yeah, everybody have a great day.